This is the show to be named later. You're listening live from our Student Center studios on KCOU 88.1 and KCOU.FM. Excited to get things going this morning. Got a full show for you this morning. We're going to get into our fan favorite segments of the weirdest thing I saw this week, as well as get it off your chest later in the show. We've also got Bennett Durando joining the show. We'll fully preview Missouri basketball this week at the SEC tournament and get into a couple other things around the college basketball world. On Saturday, a 77-67 triumph over the Razorbacks. First thing I noticed there was the dominance down low of Jeremiah Tillman and Jonte Porter, and those two really seem to be coming into their own these past 3 games or so. What do you guys think of their performances that they've been able to string together recently?
Lonzo Martin, all the credit in the world, for what he's done this year, but I think they're really going to struggle in like an SEC tournament type atmosphere and even in the NCAA tournament, simply because they just don't have the bodies. Michael Porter Jr., if he comes back, that will help out a lot. But right now, they're arguably down to, 7 players. Some might even say 6 players, because Reed Nico is not the greatest player off the bench, but does his role very, very well. So it'll be interesting to see how the Tigers play next.
I think everyone thinks they're safely in the tournament now, maybe on that 8-9 seed line. So it takes a lot of the pressure off, not knowing, we have to win a game or 2 games, however many, to get a spot in the NCAA tournament.
Believe will win the SEC tournament and clinch that automatic berth.
Oh, I'm going to pick Florida. I think Florida is playing at a high level. They've been inconsistent this entire year. We've seen very good performances out of Florida. We've seen very poor performances out of Florida. They have a veteran team led by Chris Chiozza. Jalen Hudson can really score the ball. Kulichov, or however you say his name inside, can shoot the 3 and play inside. I think Florida's got a very good mix of players. I think Mike White is a good coach, so I'm going to go with Florida right now.
I am actually going to go ahead and pick Kentucky to defend their title. I really like where this team is at right now. They had obviously just a really tough dry spell in the middle of the season, late January to early February, but I do think they've gotten it together. I think that Coach Cal knows this tournament well. He likes coaching in it. He can rally his guys. I do think that Kentucky's going to end up on top. I think that Auburn, Tennessee, and Missouri would be my next 3 picks. But I think that we'll see the Wildcats and Cat Lewis show up this weekend.
I believe Missouri will win the SEC tournament. I think they have the most talent on any team in the SEC, and they're playing some of the best basketball right now. So that is my pick. Now, Michael Porter Jr. does not come back. I'm going to go with the Kentucky, who Garrett just brought up. I agree with everything you just said, Garrett. They've been playing some really good basketball. They're really finding their form lately. So I really think it really depends for Missouri if Michael Porter Jr. is able to come back or not.
The assistant sports editor with the Maneater. He also covers men's basketball for the wonderful student publication of the University of Missouri. Joining myself, Chase Phillips, and Ben Krakow in studio, he is Bennett Durando.
So, Bennett, we're going to get right into talking about the SEC tournament. I know you will certainly be covering for Mizzou. And I think the first thing that I really want to know is, what do you think the odds are of Michael Porter Jr. playing? I know there's been a lot of speculation that he might come back. I know, we certainly don't have an answer, but do you think that we'll see him in action either Thursday or Friday?
I call this my least favorite game to play. Will he, won't he play? But my guess right now would be that no, he doesn't. That, again, is speculation, of course. But it's been so constantly in motion, this process, that there's no way to tell at this point. I think he wants to, and I think that's the obvious thought, but also, is it his choice? Are there outside factors? I mean, when your father is an assistant coach on the team, everyone's concerned for his health, and I understand that that's the bottom line. Missouri's well off without him, I think. Obviously, I think they would be better with him, but I wouldn't be surprised if he does play. My thought the last couple weeks has been, if he didn't play against Arkansas, they wouldn't even try to fit him in the SEC tournament or in the postseason in any capacity. But then you get the statement from him last Saturday, and here we are. So I'm at this point, I wouldn't put anything past them or not past them. My guess would be no, though.
And what do you think about just the people that, they say they know? We look at Jeff Goodman at ESPN. He's first saying, not sure if he's going to come back. Now shocked if he doesn't play. There are people speculating that, Goodman's talking to Porter himself or talking to his family. Do you think anyone really knows, or this is something they people just continue to speculate, even though they're not especially the people that aren't even around the program on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, that's a good point. It is something of frustration, especially to local people, because Goodwin's not around all the time, obviously. So I don't think he's in touch with Porter personally, but obviously he's not making anything up or anything, but he has some sort of source that's close enough to where that speculation is just getting relayed through him, and it's just causing all the rumors, and it's just been a rolling snowball for 4 months.
Just real quick, getting into the Porter that is on the court, Jonte Porter, he's been really coming into his own lately. I've really liked what I've seen from him in the offensive end. What have you seen from him that you think he's really been able to flourish and play so well over his past 3 games?
Well, his post presence has been criticized for most of the season, and it seems to be present now in the last couple games, and so it's allowing him to stretch the floor more. He's no longer just that spot up shooter. It helps when you're shooting well, but he's looked a lot more confident and assertive in the post, a lot stronger on defense. He's not leaving his feet quite as much as usual on shot fakes, which is a sort of something that he's almost patented this season. He's going to be important this weekend, though, especially Thursday, because he led Mizzou in scoring against Georgia and Vanderbilt in the regular season. He had 15 and 10 against Georgia. He had 24 points in that game against Vanderbilt. That was arguably the best individual performance from Missouri this season.
Well, and I believe that Georgia game was Jonte's first start of the year, if I'm not mistaken. And like you said, Bennett, very good game for Jonte Porter. And Bennett, something I asked them earlier on the show, the top 4 seeds in this tournament, Auburn, Tennessee, Florida, and Kentucky. What is a team that's not a top 4 seed that you could see making a run in the SEC tournament, maybe to the semifinals or the championship game?
It's hard to say because there are so many teams, I think, in the middle of the conference that are capable of making a run. My thought initially, Texas A&M always pops to mind. Obviously, some of the injuries they've dealt with, though, down the stretches will make that tough. Alabama, I always have liked what I see from them. That's going to be a big matchup between those two, and I think the winner, you never know what can happen. Missouri could make a run, but I don't think they'll beat Kentucky. I think that 5 through 8 or 9 range, almost anyone, you never know. And that's what could make this one of the more fun SEC tournaments that we've had in recent years.
Last week in a game between the New York Islanders and Carolina, the NHL had something that it had seldom seen. Sebastian Aho of the Carolina Hurricanes going up against Sebastian Aho of the New York Islanders. That is right. There are 2 Sebastian Ahos in the NHL. Sebastian Antero Aho faced off the 20-year-old right winger from Rauma, Finland of the Carolina Hurricanes, faced off against 21-year-old defenseman Sebastian Johannes Aho from Umeå, Sweden.
How about that? 2 guys the same name, not even from the same country.
Not even from the same country. No relation to each other at all. Just the same name, different middle names, 1 year separated from each other, now playing up against each other in the NHL.
Mine centers around how the NCAA tournament bracket will be revealed. If you didn't miss the news yesterday, CBS, True TV, all those networks that broadcast the NCAA tournament bracket revealed that they will be on Sunday, on Selection Sunday, announcing the 68 teams that have made the tournament first, and then later revealing the bracket over the course of their 2-hour show. I believe the bracket will be revealed over the first hour. But CBS, for some reason, feels this need to change how they reveal the bracket every single year. It's got to be something different. In 1 year, it took almost their 2-hour show, and I'm pretty sure the bracket got leaked beforehand, before the show was over. And honestly, I know they want to keep people watching the show throughout, but people just want to see the bracket. And part of the fun is seeing what teams land where as the bracket is revealed. We don't want to see, well, all these teams are in. Okay, now where are they in the bracket? To me, the style they had previously worked fine. Just keep revealing the bracket, do it pretty quickly, and then provide your analysis. We don't need some fancy 2-hour show where we're going to reveal the teams and then we're slowly going to put them in the bracket. No one wants to watch that. It's a pain to watch and sit there for 2 hours as this sort of thing drags on. If they were smart and they wanted people really to tune in, they would just stick with the traditional. I don't know why they have to keep getting so fancy with how they reveal the bracket.